Hey guys, welcome to REEF, REEF, Saltwater Aquarium Care. Thanks for subscribing, and if you haven't already done so, please do. If you like the content, also give the video a like or a dislike if you don't like it, whatever you want to do. So every Saturday I do a video on saltwater aquarium care, and today I'm just kind of gonna give you like a brief overview on what's going on, like a vlog type thing. These guys are doing well. Oh, by the way, you know, if you're on a limited budget, because this hobby can be pretty expensive, like really expensive, just like with most hobbies, you know, like be it photography or anything like that, you can get cheap stuff or really expensive stuff. And usually the more money you spend, the better equipment you'll have. Not all the time. I like to get the best for the least. Except like in photography, you gotta get like really expensive stuff to have the best. But anyway, that's another expensive hobby that I've got. This channel is basically dedicated to taking care of your fish so they thrive and your corals thrive in your tank, how to set up saltwater aquariums and take care of them. And it's also a vlog that I use for myself so I can look back and see what my tank was doing and what I was doing differently or whatever. But I also help you guys to save money. I don't have a lot of money at all, right? So I do the best I can with what I've got. I'm not a DIY channel, but I do show you DIY stuff and ideas that I have. Everything that I teach you guys on this channel is backed up by tons of research, experimentation, and a lot of reading. I'm not just going to go to some saltwater forum and be like, oh, I read that Bill did this, so that's how it is. Nope. In fact, I've done a lot of videos on how to kill the ick parasite in marine velvet. I should have called this channel the Ick channel, because most of my videos are surrounding that, because there's a lot of misconceptions on how to kill that parasite. Basically, you're going to hear people say once it's in your tank, it's always in your tank forever. Wrong. Totally false. Check out the video description in all my videos. It gives you a list of all the gear that I use and all the links to all the gear on Amazon. So if you like what I talk about and you want to check out the stuff, I make it really easy so you can, you know, see what I've got and what I use. There's a link to a book that I wrote, How to Kill Ick in Marine Velvet in your aquarium, your saltwater tank forever. It's on Amazon. It's like a few bucks. Pick that up. It's a great read, like 60, 70 pages. I tell you everything you need to know and then more. It's really easy to follow and understand. Also, there's a link to our Facebook group if you want help with saltwater aquarium or fish or corals or anything. Any questions, you want to post photos or videos of your aquariums, do it there. It's a great community. We're approaching 1,000 members. Awesome. Thank you, moderators, and thank you for everyone joining. It's a great community. If you post a question, people are really eager to answer, so there's a lot of great help there. So the fish are doing great. I did put copper solution in this aquarium like a month ago now. I can't remember, a month ago. And of course the fish are doing great. You never want to put copper solution in your aquarium because it will kill your corals. This tank has no corals. But it's been said that even if you put it in your tank, you can never get rid of it. Well, a bunch of subscribers have said to me that they've done it with no problem. I would never put copper in this tank, liquid copper, or cupramine, if there were corals or inverts in here, but there's not. So I did it as a test. I put a bunch of copper in here. Fish are fine, of course, and then I'll put my corals in here soon. Copper solution, for those of you who don't know, it's liquid copper, and when you get a new fish from the store, you need to put them in a separate aquarium for 6 to 8 weeks with copper solution, because most fish have parasites on them and you want to get rid of those parasites before you put them in this tank, and the copper kills the parasites. I always dose half the recommended amount. So if the bottle says put 1 drop for every gallon of aquarium water, that would be 125 gallons in here, so 125 drops. I would do 60 or 70 drops. More than enough, because the recommended dosage is toxic to fish. It's like chemotherapy for fish. And I have a separate tank for a quarantine for my coral. You don't use copper in that. You just keep the corals in there for 6 to 8 weeks, because if there's no food source, parasites will die. So I have 2 quarantine tanks. I bring that up because the coral is about to go back into this tank. I got a new coral, a zoanthid. It's really cool. I did a video on that a few weeks ago. It's doing really great. I also got my original star polyp coral frag from my brother. I had that in my 75-gallon tank, which he now has, my old 75-gallon saltwater tank, by Marine Land. This is a 125-gallon Marine Land. I upgraded from a 28-gallon to a 75-gallon and now 125-gallon for the last 3 years, and I find that this size is perfect. If you have 1 or 2 tangs, I've had 4 tangs in here at one point, a little too much, but they all did great, no fighting. And so I have my original star polyps frag, and that's in the quarantine downstairs. I could have put it right in this tank because my brother's tank doesn't have the ick parasite, but I put it in the quarantine anyway, the coral quarantine, because the nitrates are a little too high in this aquarium, and you got to have close to 0 nitrates in the water when you have corals in it. In other news, I may be moving, so I'm really not looking forward to it. I need to keep the sand intact because the sand bed is like 6 months old now, so it's still establishing. It's got a lot of beneficial bacteria and little critters in it that keep this aquarium going. So I could technically get rid of the sand bed, but I dropped close to $200 on the sand bed. I really don't want to get a new one, so I'll probably have to take that out in buckets with salt water in it, empty this, put the fish in buckets with heaters or something. But really, you know what? I had one of my tangs in a bucket, and he was in there for 2 hours, no problem. So whenever I get the new place, providing it'll be like a nice bridge move where I can just move right in, I'll tear this down, I'll set the tank up in the new place, let it run for a couple days, put the sand in it right away, let it settle. I'll probably set up my 40-gallon and keep them here in the 40-gallon while I move this. Get that over there, get it all set up, this one, move the sand over there so there's no sand bed. They'll be fine. I went without a sand bed for a year. Take half the rock over there, let it get in the water quickly because I don't want the bacteria to die. I'll keep the rock submerged in this salt water. I'll do a water change. I'll bring the pumps and the fish over last. I guess that's my plan. Then I got to find a couple people to help me move this 125-gallon aquarium. Empty with just glass, it's really heavy, and it's a struggle with 2 people, so I might want to get 2 more people to help with that to make it even easier, and then just move the rest of the stuff in once the tank is set up and established. I don't think it'll be as much of a hassle as what I think, but I don't know. We'll see. My coralline algae is doing good. It's starting to come back on the walls of the overflow, which is awesome. Someone asked, how do you keep coralline algae? That's the purple on your rocks. It doesn't look like algae, it's just a purple color, so it makes it look like your rocks are all purple. Really good water chemistry for one, and also you want to keep your calcium at 450 or 500. So I average calcium here 500. Calcium is also really good for your corals, and I know some of you are like, oh, that's really high. It's not. It's fine. It won't hurt the fish or anything like that. Calcium for me between 500 and 550. I don't dose anything in this aquarium at all. All I do is a weekly water change of 10 gallons with fresh salt water that I make here at home, and then I top it off with pure water that I make here at home with an RODI unit. I use instant ocean salt, and that's it. The only thing I do dose every other water change, like twice a month, is a half a cup of calcium crystals to maintain that 500 to 550 calcium level for the coralline algae. Everyone's doing fine. Fish are doing great. I got to go today to buy some more rods food for them, and maybe look at another coral. We'll see. But remember, if I get another coral today and I put it in the quarantine tank for coral, then that cycle of keeping them in there for 6 weeks has to start all over again. So I'll probably wait on that so I can get the coral in here and then get a new coral in 2 more weeks after the current coral in the quarantine tank go in. The reason for 6 weeks is because if there's any parasites in that water, it takes about 4 to 5 weeks for them to die if there's no fish in there for them to feed on. So 6 weeks being the safe period, 8 weeks being ultra safe, and I'm pretty much at the, I think I'm at the 6-week mark, coming close to be honest. I'll wait another 2 weeks to make sure all those parasites are dead in the water before I put the coral in here. This hobby is all about being cautious and going slow, man. You can't rush nature, you can't rush the stuff. And I get so sick of hearing people say, once you have ick parasites in your aquarium, you always do. No, that's not true. Because if I get, you know, a glass of water out of a water bottle or my faucet in my kitchen, is there ick in there? No, there's not. Because I didn't allow it in there. I didn't take that water and pour water from the local reef store in it. Now you've got ick in your mug apparently. Now if I pour that mug in here, those parasites are going to multiply. If you never allow them in your aquarium, they're never going to be in the aquarium. If you don't let strangers in your house, there's not going to be strangers in your house. That's the bottom line of it. And by doing that, you put up a roadblock. You put the new fish in a quarantine tank for 6 weeks, and you dose it with copper to annihilate those parasites. After the 6-week period and the fish is doing good, you put them in here. This is the last place you put your fish in your coral. Then again, I got a second quarantine tank for just corals and inverts like shrimp and snails and crabs and all that. After that 6-week period, you put the guys in here. You're never going to get it in here. I love when I hear people say, oh, just put some garlic in the tank. It'll take care of it. It doesn't do anything. Just change your water temperature. It'll take care of it. It doesn't do anything. People just follow other people and they just follow bad advice. Water is really nice and clear. Looks better here than it does on the video. Everyone's doing good. I'm looking forward to the corals being put in there, but I'm not looking forward to moving. So I hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget to check out the Facebook group. Sorry the video wasn't like anything special, but they all can't be magical. And that's it. Just a little update and letting you know where the aquarium is and what's going on. And that's it. Take care, guys.